Welcome to the channel all about economic board games. Today I'm going to be giving you an overview of this game, Food Chain Magnate. So this is a heavy game, this one, folks. 100% dice free, it says there. Now it's brought to you by these guys on the side. You can see the designers at the top, graphic designers, and it's published there by those guys at the bottom. Now this one, it says it takes between 2 and 4 hours, which is probably about right, and it's a 2 to 5 player game. And in this game we are running fast food chain outlets, and we'll be trying to expand them and meet the demand and supply our houses and their demand with all sorts of burgers and beers, lemonade, cokes and pizzas, these main 5 types here. Now the game is sprawling, just to say the least. I can't even get it all in image, so we've got literally all these cars to the sides that we can hire and train up. You've then got this main board here as well, and on the far left I've got all these milestones which you'll be acquiring for doing the sort of achievements first off. So yeah, this is literally dominating the table. Now it comes with a really nice player aid, which is a must. On the front you can see 1 to 7, all the phases you're going to be going through, and inside it sort of demonstrates the network of when you hire these people, starting people on the far left, and as you want to sort of train them up, so you can train this errand boy into a car operator, you can see the arrows, which is really useful, and that sort of mimics the layout as when you put these on the table, all these people you can recruit. And on the back is the opposite side, is all the types of milestones. Now these, it's basically the first things you achieve. Let's just say, for example, you're the first to train someone, you can see you're going to get a $15 discount on salaries, which is amazing, and these are all a must really. The first burger marketed is going to get $5 extra for every burger you sold. So a host of goodies there, and the first to get there will get it, and if anyone else gets them on the same round, they'll get it as well. But once they've gone after that round, they are gone. You can't go back and get them. So essentially the warfare, shall we call it, takes place on this grid here. Now this is a 2-player setup, and you've got this sort of modular board. We've got 9 tiles here, and the setup really does vary from game to game. You can see this road network, so continuously flows around. Sometimes it doesn't even connect. So for example, this top part here, that road just weirdly doesn't connect. So that house, you're going to have to do some jockeying to sort of get to it. But essentially you place your businesses on the board. So you can see we've gone for this one here, fried and donkey, which is actually fried geese and donkey, I think it's called. And you've got Santa Maria Pizza as well. Now these businesses, this represents your franchise. You can see the doors there, it kind of has to connect up to the road and go one of these 3 spots. So that now shows us that they're connected to here, that's their entrance, and they are serving in this vicinity, this premises here, if they actually have the right products, at what's it called, distance of 0. And every time you cross one of these boundaries, so this sort of variable board, you go along the road, that's 1, so this is classed as tile 1, then 2 and 3, and that's key to the game because that's determines how far you can access either wholesalers, for example these yellow and red spots, which is where you're going to get lemonade and coke. If you can reach them, that's sort of warehouses in the game. And if you can meet other businesses as well, so for example here we go 0 to 1 to 2, that would take 2 spots to go and get there, and that becomes important when we determine the dinner time phase. So in terms of the game, yep, you're running food chain outlets, and I'm just going to kind of go through quickly the 1 to 7, which will give you a good idea of what this game is all about. So the first thing you're going to be doing is restructuring. Now you start the game with literally a CEO and no money, but this CEO lets you hire 1 person, so that pretty much be the first thing you all do simultaneously. Actually you wouldn't do that first, you'd actually restructure, which is literally just putting this dude out, and then based on order of business, whoever has the most open slots, in this case everyone who starts is going to have 3, so it then goes to turn order. The turn order, you can change it, whoever's got the most open slots gets to determine if they want to go first, second, or in 3, 4, 5 player games, wherever they want to go. And sometimes it's advantageous to be sort of in the mix in the middle, so you can copy whatever players are doing, because remember, it's all about these milestones, and if you don't get there in time and it's the end of the round and you haven't got it, then they disappear. So that's kind of a bit about the importance of turn order, just one of the aspects. So basically you restructure, which is where you put your dudes out, your team, you do the order of business, whoever has the most spots determines that player order. You then go to working 9 to 5, so whoever is first will decide who they're going to recruit. So you can see 1 to 6 there, and you literally recruit anyone from the far left here. You've got waitresses, which are going to get you extra money, and they're also going to break ties when it comes to those restaurants during dinner time, which makes more sense shortly. Management trainees give you extra spots, and you can see as you progress up, you get more and more spots. You've got these pricing managers that give you a discount, which will make a lot more sense in the dinner time. You can recruit more people. So currently only your CEO can recruit, but if you get a few of these, you get to hire more people and get your engine going. Train people imperative in this game, because if you want to follow these arrows on the guide, you're going to need those trainers. You're going to potentially need these coaches or gurus, because they do multiple steps. So if you want to turn that management trainee into a junior vice president, you're going to need to hire a trainer, should I say. You got errand boys, you get drinks. You can upgrade those to get car operators, truck drivers, zeppelins. You've got these marketing campaigns. You can start off with billboards. You've got mailboxes, and these are all at the top of the game here. So if you decide to plonk one of these mailboxes out, for what they call billboards, they have to be connected to the house in this case. So anything they touch, these guys would now, let's just say they were marketing Coke. These guys would eventually, when it goes around the turn order, would want Coke. But if you got one of these mailboxes, those are determined by area, so you could plonk it as long as it's connecting to a road. This whole area dictated by the road is the boundaries, whereas you see this one would be that area, this one would be, well, actually it'd be this sort of large area here, so all the houses there would be impacted by that. You've got these sort of aeroplane ones which you put external to the board, and they cover rows and columns. You've got these radio stations as well. If you plonked it here, that would do all orthogonal or adjacent tiles. In this particular 2-player setup, we do all the tiles, but in 3, 4, 5 player games they get bigger. So where were we? So we did a few of these marketeers, and you can see you get the brand directors and all that lot. You then get onto the food and the bulk of the pizzas and burgers. So the kitchen trainee gives you burgers and pizzas, and you can upgrade into a pizza cook, a burger chef, and burger cooks, all sorts of stuff there. So that's pretty much about the hierarchy of Chain, and that's this recruit employees phase. Let's just zoom in again. So the next bit is train employees. So you can use those trainees to move them up the hierarchy. You then do your initiate market campaigns. This is where if you've got a marketing trainee out there, one of these guys here, you can put them out, get one of those billboards in this case, place it on the board like we showed you, and then you can start marketing. So let's just give you another demo of that. So let's just say we put this one here, that one there. Now it has to be within distance to your business. So let's just say it was fried geese and donkey, and it was a max of 2. You'd go 0, 1 there, so they're capable of putting that in there. It's connected to a road, and it's going to be advertising Coke to number 2 there. So that is the initiate marketing campaigns. Getting food and drink. So if you did have one of these kitchen trainees, so you literally start off with this CEO here, and sort of just set up this demonstration to see how you can expand. So you can see your CEO has 3 slots, and we've got a management trainee who then offers us 2 more slots. So we put the waitress and the trainer there. You've got the recruiting girl, and then the kitchen trainee. So all their slots are full, but you can see in the order of this list here, you then work your way through your employees and do whatever they need to do. Now in this game, you've got your structure, and you've also got something called on the beach. So if his employees didn't want to use this round, which is key, because you can only train people who are on the beach. You know, this trainer here couldn't train this kitchen trainee now because he's working hard for the day, whereas if you decided to sort of leave him on the beach, it's called, you could train him up, and he would then become, you know, a pizza cook or a burger cook, whatever you want it to be. So that's the importance of on the beach. We would get our food and drinks. We'd then place new house and garden. So if you did get one of these new business developers, you can actually put extra houses and gardens on the board, which is key in this game, really, because let's just say, you know, your competition starts encroaching on you around here, and you're like, you know what, I need another house because, you know, I want to get it a bit close. You want to put it here, for example, or you want to put an extra garden on there. Houses with gardens give you double the revenue from all the goods sold there, which is massive. It's just one of the key ways to get more money for selling your goods. So that's the importance of that. You can also move your businesses. If you get one of these local managers, you can place a new restaurant out coming soon though, whereas if you get this regional manager, you can place or move existing restaurant, which is just great if you get caught in a tricky situation, but it tends to spend, say, a third of your game trying to get that regional manager by training. we were over to play some of restaurants, so that was pretty much the regional and the local manager. So once that player has done all of those things, you then go over to the other player, they do the same, and then you all go to dinner time and figure out who is going to earn some money this game. So let's just say it says here, determine the prices, including the effects of discounts. So there is pricing managers and luxury managers, and let's just say one player had a pricing manager. The way you'd figure it out is, I'm just going to sort of check a few bits and bobs on here. So let's say this house wanted that one, and these guys had a Coke. So you can see it comes to dinner time. You'd go by player number. So number 2, if there was number 1 out there, is there a 1? No, so you go 2, then 4, 5, etc. So 2 was at first, and they are demanding that house. They're really thirsty for Coke. So they're going to go to the restaurant who is the cheapest. Now, let's just say Fried and Donkey. First off, you'd see, does anyone have Coke? And let's just assume both of them do have a Coke to supply this house. So the price would be 10 for the product. You then go by distance. So to get to this restaurant, they're going to have to go, where are they? So they're going to go, they're on this tile here. So they're going 1 and then 2. So, or should I say from the other way around, the restaurant is 0, 1 and 2. It's 2 away from there, so you'd add 2. So 10 plus the 2 is 12 because they didn't have any discounts or pricing managers. Whereas Santa Maria here, they're going to have to go, well, it's already 10 minus the 1 is 9. And then 9, which way is the quickest here? So we've got 0, we've got 1 and we've got 2. So that would be, what did I say, 9 plus 2, 11. And that was, what did we say, 10... That was 12. So these guys are cheaper, which means that if they do have the Coke, which they do to get to that math stage, they're going to provide it rather than this business because they had that pricing manager, which was key. So that's kind of how you're going to sell them. These guys would take it if they had any bonuses from these milestones. Let's say, for example, they had the first drink marketed. You can see they're going to get extra 5 for every drink sold. So $15. Well, actually, $14 coming their way because they've discounted the price, and that's going to hurt you in terms of the actual money you get. Now, there is one amazing card if you manage to get it. It's the CFO up here. You get 50% extra cash earned this round, and you can see there's only one of them. And so all the money you raise that round, you're going to get 50% extra. And I should add that any cards with this sort of symbol at the bottom, that one means you're going to pay their wages, which I'm sort of getting ahead of myself when it comes to payday. So that was dinner time. That's how you're sort of going to get your money. And if that sort of focuses in, the next phase is payday. So anyone with that symbol, you're going to pay $5 per card. And reductions may apply. So if you are one of the first to train someone, this lovely milestone up here, you're going to get a $15 discount on salaries. So you can get 3 employees for free, basically, which is awesome. You can also fire people if you don't want them and you don't want to pay for this cost. Next thing is you do marketing campaigns, so you resolve them in order. So looking at the board then, again, number 13 is the only one on there for demonstration. You'd move that one over and you've determined the duration as well. So say if you'd had 2 on there, you get 2 rounds to put those Coke out. And because it's connected to that one in this case, then 2 would apply. If you did get one of these radio stations and that was, let's just say there next to road, then you would say if it was an eternity symbol of lemonade, all these houses are going to get lemonade in them, which is tricksy because if this one now needs lemonade and this business, well, it was Santa Maria who provided the supply there, it now means that Santa Maria have to sort of focus on lemonades because these guys aren't just going to want one Coke, they want both of them. If you can't meet that requirement exactly, you ain't selling your goods to them. So that was marketing. Over to cleanup then, which is literally you get rid of all your food and drinks, which is interesting. So all that food and drink you get, you have to get rid of it unless you get the milestone for first to throw away for drinking food. You get a freezer for 10 items. I love that card. You then go over to take all your employees back from your hand and your bench, and you leave your marketers out there. So if these guys, you get the correlating symbol, what was it? It was 13, wasn't it? So you can see 13's out there. You put number 13 on it to show he's still in use. If he has still got duration on there, which he hasn't in this case, he would go back. So that's a bit about the market. You then take all your remaining milestones, and again, as I said, if no one else can achieve it and you're the only one on that round, they're all gone and no one else is going to get those big bonuses that are massive to the game. And that is it, folks. You literally just keep going, you keep selling your goods if you can. Once this initial, I should say, is $50 per player is added to the bank to begin with, so literally 2-player game, only $100 in there. Once that's been exhausted, you then turn to these reserve cards, which would have been picked at the beginning of the game. Now, these are interesting because they determine what you as a player want the game in terms of length to be. So let's just say one player secretly has chosen the 200 and another player's gone for the 100. 100 is typically the short game, 200 is about a medium game, and 300, which isn't in picture now, is a longer game. And you'd add all that money for, say, 2-player game here is 300. You add $300 to the bank, so it started with 100, that was depleted. You now chuck in 300, and once that 300 is gone, you end the game. Most cash wins. So this is an interesting mechanic, and you can also see at the bottom it'll change the CEO's number of spots. So let's just say the average, those two 100s are there, the 1 and the 2, you plonk that under your CEO, which was 3 spots, and he now has 2 spots, so it sort of limits the game there. So for me, that's it, folks. That's most cash wins, but this game can be absolutely brutal, folks. But there's the options to negate that, though, with the new business developer, which gets you those houses and gardens, the local managers to move your restaurant, well, get a new restaurant, and your regional managers to move them. So many options here, and the first few rounds can feel a little bit like nothing's really happening here. I'm literally just hiring one person, training one person, but before you know it, you've got such a massive structure, and the board is becoming ever more complex of a math game of should I have some discount managers or pricing managers, and can I supply that? Do I need to get marketing to house that person? So hopefully this, guys, has been a good insight into your sort of an overview of this game. Next week I'm hopefully going to bring you a run through on this one so you can sort of see how a few rounds play out. There we are. Hope you enjoy, folks. Food Chain Magnates.